Good morning. Good morning to everyone at today's first public hearing of the Prosecutor Vetting Commission. I'm Christopher Lehman, the chairperson of the commission, and I declare this session to be open. This commission is established under Law 52 of the External Evaluation of Judges and Prosecutors. Article 22, paragraph 13 of that law provides that this commission will assess the candidates for the Superior Council of Prosecutors Selection and Evaluation Board according to the procedures and criteria regulated by Law 26 of 2022 on measures related to the selection of candidates for the position of members in the self-administration bodies of the prosecutors. The hearing is being conducted under the Commission's rules of procedures for evaluations under Law 26. The subject of today's hearing is Tatiana Rotaru, a candidate for the Superior Council of the Prosecutors Selection and Evaluation Board. Ms. Rotaru, welcome and thank you for joining us today. I'm joined by my colleagues on the commission. I'll start from the right. Nadezhda Hryptievsky, Irmantas Mikalonis, Tatiana Raducanu, Saskia DeVries, and Cornel Lebedinsky. The commission is also assisted by members of our secretariat. The hearing is open to the public and members of the media. The hearing will be conducted in interpretation in Romanian and English. To allow for accurate interpretation, I would ask that everyone please speak slowly and clearly. Our interpreters are right here in the booth. The proceedings are being recorded. The recordings of the Commission's public hearings will be available online on our website, which is www.vettingmd.org within 3 days of the hearing. Ms. Rotaru, during the hearing, one or more of the commissioners will ask questions to you. Please answer the questions truthfully and completely. Your explanations are important to us on the commission in verifying your financial and ethical integrity. In formulating our questions, we will take into account your privacy and, where required and possible, the privacy of family members and close persons. So we will leave out any unnecessary details relating to ID numbers, bank account numbers, specific addresses of real estate, and for your protection and privacy, we would ask you to do the same in answering questions. At the end of the hearing, you'll be given an opportunity to make a brief closing statement. I will start the process by briefly reviewing the evaluation of candidate Rotaru. The Commission initiated its evaluation process on the 22nd of December, 2023, by notifying the candidate by email and asking her to complete and return an ethics questionnaire and a financial declaration form. The candidate, Ms. Rotaru, returned the completed questionnaire and declarations on the 29th of December, 2023. As part of the evaluations as part of evaluating the subject's ethical and financial integrity, the Commission also obtained information from many other sources, such as the National Integrity Authority, the State Fiscal Service, the General Inspectorate of the Border Police, and other public institutions, financial institutions, and open source material. The Commission assesses the information it obtains from these sources for relevance and reliability. The Commission also sent you 3 rounds of questions on 16 February 2024, 29 February 2024, and 19 March 2024, to which you responded. On March 21st of this year, 2024, the Commission invited you, Ms. Rotaru, to attend today's hearing. At that time, we notified you of specific topics that we would address at the hearing. Again, candidate Rotaru, thank you for appearing today. I'll begin with a few of our questions for you, and we ask you to respond in a complete and truthful manner to the questions. Let me ask you at this point if you wish to make any additions or corrections to any of the answers you've previously provided to the Commission's request for information.
Good morning, esteemed members of the Commission. I have nothing to add now and nothing to add to the answers that I've already provided. And I guess along the way, I'll be providing some further explanations on the basis of the questions that you will be asking.
Thank you. And the answers you provided in your 5-year declaration and your ethics questionnaire that you returned on, I believe it was the 28th of December, 2023. Are those still accurate as of today?
Certainly, yes.
And I'd like to turn to the matter of your failure to file a financial declaration as was required in 2016. You resigned from the prosecution service on July 29th, 2016, correct?
Yes, esteemed members of the Commission.
And I believe you confirmed this in your written answers to us. You never filed a financial declaration for the partial year 2016. Isn't that correct?
That is correct, because I'm not as impertinent to provide false, fake information to the Commission or to mislead the Commission to say that I filed it, but while I didn't, so I did not file it, and I said the truth.
Thank you. You were aware of Law 1264/2002 requiring you to file declarations, financial declarations as a member of the prosecution service?
I was aware, I knew, because I was filling in such declaration every year. It's only that after I resigned, for the 6 months, I knew I was supposed to file a declaration. However, I'll be fair that I did not observe the deadline. I did not look it up in the law at that time, and I didn't realize that I only had 20 days to file the declaration.
And why didn't you file it later after you realized that the deadline had passed?
As for later, after I resigned, 2 weeks after I resigned, I left Moldova, and when I returned, the deadline had already passed for filing the declaration. And when I was thinking of accumulating the information that I needed to file a declaration, a new law was in force, and the declarations were supposed to be filed only with an electronic signature, and I didn't have this digital signature.
And the 2 weeks, was that when you left for Germany?
Yes, I left to Germany, so I resigned on the 29th, and then I left the country, but on the 14th. But I would like to provide more details to the Commission. Around that time, on the 29th, I resigned. The order on resignation, I received that on the 2nd of August by post from the territorial office where I was working in that period of time. After I got that order, I went to the office of the Prosecutor General to give them my ID card as a member of the Prosecutor's office and to pick up my documentation. And then there, I asked the staff of the Human Resources Department, I asked them, who will give me that information? Because usually out there in the territories, when we were supposed to file the declarations, the financial declarations, we were sent everything by mail, what the gross salary was, to fit that into the declarations forms. And I asked, look, I need data because I need to fill in my declarations. So I asked about it without knowing, so I hadn't looked it up in the law. I knew I had to file a declaration, but I asked for that information because I was going to file the declaration at some point. First, they said we need to make the calculations for the 7th month, which is when I resigned, because I had also received some benefits. And I submitted all that information to the commission too. And they told me that later I would get that by mail to the Soroka prosecutor's office with a salary for the 6 months of the year. And then I said, okay. So I went to the Soroka prosecutor's office, and then I worked with the documentation and the paperwork around my resignation. And I was also running short of time, and I left. I knew for certain that I had to file a declaration, but I didn't know exactly when. I didn't look this up in the law. That I didn't know I was supposed to do it within 20 days. And then I returned to Moldova, and I knew that the next time I would go to Germany, that would be for a much longer period of time. And given that, well, I asked colleagues about whether there was something uncertain about the work that I left them to take over, so to speak, and they said no. And I went to the secretariat of the prosecutor's office, and I asked about the information regarding the pay slip, the salary slip, but still the calculations were not there to be shared with me. So then I thought I will go to the prosecutor's office, but then I figured that the law already said that a new law is going to be in force, and we would all be given digital signatures, and I was no longer able to file that declaration. So knowing that my only source of income was this salary, when I left, I ended up not filling in and filing that declaration because there was a new law going to be in force, and there was going to be this change about everything. I mean, that the National Integrity Center was supposed to turn into the National Integrity Authority, and that's when things have been amended, including the law on the prosecutor service. The second day, practically after that initial amendment, there were amendments to the work of the prosecutor service. Thank you. Over.
Thank you. So in 2016, you did not have, just to clarify, you did not have an electronic signature.
I did not have an electronic signature because I resigned one day before that law came into force.
And after you left, did anybody from the National Integrity Authority or any other body follow up with you to request the filing of the declaration?
Esteemed members of the Commission, I have to be honest, I was waiting for it because I knew that the deadline, that I had not observed the deadline. I was for 2 weeks away, and then I returned, and I spent some time in the country, in Moldova. So I was sort of waiting for a phone call from the authority because I thought that even if there was a particular procedure that was underway with the authority, I was certain that the information was going to be correct, even if they looked it up, because the only source that I had at that moment in time was my salary.
But nobody ever reached out to you with this information?
No. No.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions myself, but I will look to see if any of my colleagues do. Okay, I think none. That is all the questioning I have. It was just limited to this one issue, and I'll give you an opportunity at this point to make a closing statement if you'd like to.
Esteemed members of the Commission, I certainly would like to take some time for these remarks. I would like to mention that I've shared with you, with the members of the Secretariat, I've shared with you a lot of documentation in German, and you and the members, that required additional efforts from you and from the other members regarding the evaluation given that circumstance, and I would like to thank you for this effort. As regards the failure to file the declaration, I would like to say that I regret, that I'm sorry that I did not file it. And at that time, I was overwhelmed with a number of issues, and I've already explained to the Commission that I was supposed to leave, and I had so many things in my mind, and that somehow this slipped, and I am not satisfied and happy with myself for letting it slip like that. I am quite an accountable, responsible person, so I can't say that I didn't know that I had to, but I just failed to observe the deadline. As regards the evaluation overall, I would like to tell the Commission and to encourage my colleagues to tell them that this is not such a complicated process of evaluation as we can hear out there. It's an objective, impartial process, and I would have a kind of request, so to speak, or to rather urge everyone to participate and not to be afraid of this process, because I understand it is complicated. It's not complicated to fill in all the declarations, but rather the complicated part is about submitting all the supporting documentation. Regardless, I think we do need this process. In my opinion, in our society, we do need this process. The pre-vetting and the vetting processes are required for us. Without this, I can't see how could we come closer to the society, because we know currently what is the level of trust the society has in justice, and without coming closer to the society, without showing this openness towards the society, I think that we would fail to achieve the objective ahead of us, which is the justice sector reform. So I support these processes, and I hope that only those who have integrity will be remaining after this exercise of vetting and pre-vetting, or those who want to administer true justice in a democratic country as Moldova is.
Candidate Rotaru, thank you for your participation in the evaluation process at this hearing. The Commission will now deliberate on this matter and issue our decision as soon as possible. And so I declare the hearing closed.